charming lands of Cesar and its capital, Valledupar, are home to important technological processes meant to improve the genetics and health of the animal, improve ground and water quality, as well as the nutrition, milk, and meat quality of bovine livestock.
The genetic improvement program that we have with the livestock CDT in the Department of Cesar is looking to produce 2,000 genetically improved embryos with a genetic base that comes from this bank of donors that we have. We are using the Gusera, Gyr, and Brahman breeds. At the Puerto Bello Ranch, we were the beneficiaries of CDT embryos. The initiatives that we are projecting are related to genetic improvement.
Small and medium-sized livestock owners are being benefited by these programs, allowing for certainties that sex-sorted semen, production security from their bulls, and a great quality of their animals can provide. The Center for the Technological Development of Livestock, or CDT, located in Valledupar, Colombia, works to improve on genetics and animal health. This dream, which has become a reality for livestock owners in Cesar and Colombia, began with the goal of impregnating 2,000 cows through in vitro, testing 80,000 heads of cattle for brucellosis and 50,000 for tuberculosis, as well as doing over 2,000 fertility tests.
The Center for the Technological Development of Livestock, or CDT, was created around 5 years ago, and we've assumed the responsibility since then to make the livestock from Cesar, the Caribbean region, and even the whole of Colombia to be more competitive. There are 5 basic areas for this: genetic improvement, health, nutrition, soil and water, and milk quality. Right now, we are in the process of consolidating these areas. We have an in vitro lab in the area of genetic improvement, with a milk quality lab empowered by Corpo ICA and in the process of accreditation, as well as the development of specific projects, such as embryo transfers, without a doubt the main transformation for productive livestock in our department. The Genetic Improvement Program's donation bank has around 100 donators, which are supplying their genetic material. Within this bank, as I mentioned before, 65% is comprised by the Gyr breed, while the other 25% is comprised by the Brahman and Gusera breeds. We use, as I've said, genetic material of Cebu breeds. These 3 breeds are Cebu because they give us rusticity, a good adaptation to the environment. And we cross them with Holstein bulls, bulls tested in the States, sexed bulls, because the Holstein breed is known to produce the highest volume of milk in the world. And so to do this cross with the Holstein gives us a high volume of milk production, while the Brahman, Gyr, and Gusera breeds give us the rusticity and adaptability.
When talking about livestock either in Colombia or the world, we can't forget to mention the Holstein breed. It is of Frisian origin, specifically from the Netherlands and Germany, and it stands out for its milk production, beef, as well as its adaptability to different environments, an attribute that has been more than tested with Colombia's geography, where the results have been amazing, both in cold climates as well as in the areas that surpass 25 degrees Celsius. These characteristics have allowed this breed of cattle to be one of the most common in ranches and milk production farms. The Holstein is born with an approximate weight of 40 kilograms. The full-grown cow can come to weigh 600 kilograms, while the bulls can come to weigh 1,000 kilograms. Normally, these cows yield milk for a period of 305 days. In other words, the cow produces milk for that period of time, and for the 40-day to 2-month period before birth, she dries up. This production is very varied and highly depends on the care and diet given. Some animals have been known to produce more than 20,000 liters of milk. CESAR has turned into the leading department in scientific development for the agriculture and livestock industries in Colombia, which is why the CDT has dedicated itself to boosting creativity, improving the competitive conditions in the area, since this is the main industry in the region.
The initiative that we are projecting is related to improving genetics. With genetic improvements enabling us to advance in the construction of an in vitro lab, we are trying, through the CDT, to, in this process, advance this technological process. We decided to make an alliance that would allow us to boost this process because everything related to in vitro fertilization challenges the center to acquire knowledge and technology it didn't have. So it was really important for us to create an alliance with In Vitro Colombia because they have given us that knowledge and technology that we didn't have. We had the idea, the projection of building this lab. It is important that today we now have the first working in vitro fertilization lab in CESAR, one of the few in the Caribbean region. Within this process, we are working today on an initiative, or first phase, allowing us to end up with 2,000 confirmed pregnancies with sex-sorted semen after 90 days.
The In Vitro Fertilization Lab started to produce embryos with high-quality genetic material in order to achieve 2,000 confirmed pregnancies with sex-sorted semen, guaranteeing 85% female offspring in farms across the CESAR department.
Here we are at the Puerto Bello farm in the district of Loma de Potrillo, El Paso municipality. Here at the Puerto Bello farm, we were beneficiaries of the transfer of embryos being developed by the CDT of CESAR. In order to be selected, our farm registered in the list given by the CDT, which called upon livestock breeders in CESAR to be benefited with the transfer of embryos from elite cows in their possession. Once we were registered, we were notified by them that we had been selected. We then started to select a number of empty cows that were in optimum physical condition and to which we were willing to give special care. This process with the CDT started approximately 3 months ago. At the moment, we have 2 lots with cows and transferred heifers. In the first lot, there are approximately 18 embryos past 90 days. In the second lot, we're waiting to see how it went in the second transfer. The first transfer was done with embryos from Brahman, Holstein, and Gusera F1s. The second lot was also done with Brahmans, Holstein, and purebred Brahmans. We are very happy with this embryo transfer process that we have been developing. Very happy with the result that we've had.
The ova have been provided by donors that have been created by crossing the best females from the Gur, Gusera, and Brahman breeds with sex-ordered semen coming from tried and tested Holstein bulls, a breed that is a world leader in the production of milk. Genetic improvement. Improving genetics is the art and the science of increasing performance and productivity, of resisting or tolerating biotic agents, pests, disease, harmful insects and fungi, bacterium, harmful viruses, and adverse abiotics. These are all physical, environmental, climatic, and ground factors that reduce, stop, or impede the maximum performance or potential productivity of crops and livestock. The range of adaptability of both animal and plant species, their beauty, and the quality of their products can be influenced with genotype modification, the genetic constitution of individuals. The Milk Referencing Lab is now working, providing services to the cattle ranchers of the region. In Colombia, there are only 4 certifications given by Corpolac, the one in Cesar being the only one of public nature. The Quality Milk Lab participates with Corpolac's interlaboratories, for which we receive 6 containers with milk samples each trimester. We corroborate the temperature of the chain of custody from the sample of the first container. The sample's temperature is also verified once it reaches the lab. We receive 2 containers in order to do a hygienic recount, a bacterial recount in the milk for its hygienic quality, and we also receive 3 containers to do the compositional quality under the 3 parameters of analysis in order to duplicate the work. These results are then reported to Corpolac's interlaboratory, where we are authorized to participate as the laboratory for milk quality for the Center of Technological Development of Cesar.
We used to breed livestock in a conventional way. For the past 8 years, livestock breeding has been handled by using pure bulls from hybrid herds. Noting that the market is becoming more competitive, which is why we decided that the transfer of embryos, which sought to achieve a higher productivity in animals living in rustic conditions such as they find here in La Loma, as well as a higher meat and milk production. I think that with the transfer of embryos, we are going to reach the desired result in such a way that we can become more competitive in the future. To be able to increase our production from the average of 3 liters of milk to 4 or 5 liters per cow, as well as achieving heavier calves once weaned, this will benefit the farm, the guys who work with us, as well as livestock breeders in general. Gyr is a type of cattle that has been genetically modified to produce milk. That's how in Brazil you can find cows that produce a record 50 liters a day. Here in this country, the cow with the highest record produced an average of 37 liters a day. You can see then how the production of milk has been genetically evolving with the Gyr cattle. The breed is originally from India and has been going through genetic modifications for a while, first in Brazil and for the past 100 years in Colombia. It's easily distinguishable by the head, by how very convex the profile of its head is, and by its backwards facing horns, as we can see with this group of animals. The animals are also shorter from what we saw previously with the Gusera breed, yet these are animals that are also extremely well suited to the tropics. Today, with normal grazing, the purebred Gyrs are producing 22 to 23 liters of milk for their farms, just with normal grazing. We have Gyr cows that have been prepared for dairy contests in Colombia, producing 35 liters of milk a day. So we see a breed that's been adapted to the tropics that will react well to the genetic base from our program of embryo transfers. This breed, as I mentioned before, has been in our country for 100 years and offers us a lot of rusticity and adaptability to the environment. More than 60% of our current donors in our genetic program consist of Gyr dairy cows.
The equipment that will put into operation the CDT's cloning lab in Cesar is already installed. It will revolutionize the genetic quality of livestock in this part of the country. This is a program that pretends to establish the basis for the creation of a sanitary zone within the department. It consists of applying 80,000 doses of tuberculin bovis and 50,000 blood samples for brucellosis testing and more than 2,500 complete blood samples to perform tests confirming that animals tested positive for brucellosis. This opportunity constitutes a big help for companies producing milk products that are able to certify their lands as being free of these diseases. Before, we were not aware what the percentage of bulls suffering from fertility issues was. Today, thanks to this study, we are narrowing down the percentage of infertility of all the bulls in a breeding farm to being around 12 to 15%. This is an important reference that invites all Colombian livestock owners to advance the fertility testing process and to consider the high percentage of infertile producers that breeding farms have across the country. Fertility problems generate a high percentage of unproductivity for the livestock economy. This evaluation consists of taking semen samples in order to determine the reproductive viability while taking into account the volume produced, the concentration of sperm, as well as the vitality of the bulls, this way guaranteeing reproductive ability without wasting time and big economic losses, especially considering that these bulls are responsible for 50% of the results of the breeding farm.
We participate in the selection and evaluation process of the bulls. At the moment, the Puerto Bello farm counts with around 6 bulls. From those 6 bulls, 2 came out faulty. I think it's the right time where one has to be competitive, and in order to be competitive, you have to take advantage of your animals. Those bulls were retired and immediately replaced with new animals whose fertility was tested, something that had not been done before here in the farm. Thanks to the process done by the CDT that helped us with the fertility testing process, we were able to confirm the fertility before buying the bulls and bringing them to the farm. We are very happy with the results. There are now many animals pregnant with those bulls. not in the transfer lots, but in other lots.
In Colombia, there are countless cultural demonstrations which express a variety of ethnic and religious traditions, as well as different customs and ways of life. With its natural wealth and diversity of climates, geography, landscapes, and technologies, the Cesar department is not a stranger to the particular demonstrations of its people or the technological demands that have allowed it to develop the great project that is benefiting the livestock sector of its population as well as that of the countries.